Notice of this meeting was given to all board members and associates in a notice dated August 11, 2023. Adequate and electronic notice of this public meeting has been provided specifying time, place, and manner in which this meeting is being conducted. It was advertised in the Courier Post, posted in all schools, the administration office, the municipal building, the library, the Quadruple Center, Edgewood Acres, Elmtown, and the Winslow Township post offices. And this is our mission statement. The mission of the Winslow Township School District, a large, diverse, and growing community, is to educate all students to become independent, lifelong learners, critical thinkers, and caring and competent members of their community. The district, in partnership with the community and in a climate of cooperation and mutual respect, will provide an academic environment which values excellence and diversity, encourages students to strive for personal excellence, and assists them in acquiring the knowledge, skills, and attitudes necessary to contribute positively to a rapidly changing world. Before I ask for roll call, I'm going to ask the technology. Has Ms. Esposito called in? Not yet?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Ms. Dredden,
Here.
Ms. Esposito,
Ms. Esposito will be calling in.
Better present marked absent but excused, correct, Madam President?
Correct.
Ms. Martin, present, Ms. Moore,
Present.
Ms. Nieves, present, Mr. Thomas,
Present.
Ms. Thomas, present, Ms. Peterson, and Ms. Pitts.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
2023, 2024. District goals. Number 1, student achievement. Continue to implement best practices for delivering instruction to students utilizing all available and appropriate instructional models. This shall include A, develop plans to increase the graduation rate. B, decrease chronic absenteeism. C, increase in benchmark scores in 4th grade ELA end of the year. D, accountability for all district staffs and stakeholders. Number 2, increase parent-caregiver engagement in education. A, provide opportunities for two-way communication with district stakeholders. B, implement the culture climate survey. And number 3, market our strengths and achievements to all stakeholders to increase capacity for greater parent, caregiver, community support. Number 8, letter A, work with the communications consortium. B, continue with our public relations and marketing plan. C, continue to work with the various advisory committees in the district. And D, focus on refining our communication methods and messages to better market our school district.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Moving now, board members. Top of page 2, awards and presentations.
Yes, Madam President, we have a presentation by Mr. Dion Davis. He is going to do the New Jersey Department of Education HIV School Self-Assessment Report. Mr. Davis?
Good evening. Tonight I'm here to share with you the Winslow Township Public Schools self-assessment for determining grades under the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights Act for the period of July 1, 2022 through June 30th of 2023. The school self-assessment process, which took place over the last month, required each school through a school safety and climate team, which is composed of each school's anti-bullying specialist, building principal, parent representative, and teachers to complete a self-assessment of its implementation of the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights from July 1, 2022 through June 30th of 2023. During the 2022-2023 school year, all programs and initiatives implemented by the district were to reinforce and strengthen current HIV policies and practices. At this time, I would like to report and seek approval for for the Winslow Township Public Schools self-assessment for determining grades under the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights Act for the period of July 1, 2022 through June 2023 as follows. Board members, in your folders, you should have a chart. So if you look at core element 1, which looks at HIV programs, approaches, or other initiatives, it has a total point value of 15. And you notice the schools score themselves anywhere from 13 to 15. Core element 2, which looks on training of the DOE approved HIV policy, has a total max point value of 9. All of the schools score themselves 9 out of 9. Core element 3 looks at other staff instruction and training programs, has a maximum point value of 15 points. And notice that the schools range anywhere from 14 to 15 out of 15. Core element 4 looks at curriculum and instruction on HIV and related information and skills, has a total point value of 6 maximum points. All of the schools gave themselves 6 out of 6. Core element 5 looks at HIV personnel, has a maximum point value of 9. The schools range anywhere from 8 to 9 out of 9. Core element 6 looks at school level HIV incident reporting procedure, has a total max point value of 6. All of the schools rank 6 out of 6. Core element 7 looks at the HIV investigation procedure, has a total point value of 12. All the schools gave themselves 12 out of 12. Core element 8 looks at the HIV reporting, has a total point value of 6, and all the schools rank 6 out of 6. So our total, school 1 gave themselves 75 out of 78, school 2, 78 out of 78, school 3, 76 out of 78, school 4, 76 out of 78, school 5, 77 out of 78, school 6, 76 out of 78, middle school, 77 out of 78, and the high school, 76 out of 78. So once this information is approved by the BOE and transmitted to the New Jersey Department of Ed, the New Jersey Department of Ed will review, approve, and determine a grade for each school and assign an overall district grade regarding our programs and initiatives established to address HIV. In the spring, I usually get the approval back from them, and then at that time, I have to report out again the final findings, which are then published to the homepage of our district website, as well as each school's site.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Board members, would there be any questions for?
I have
Mr.
one,
Davis?
Madam President.
Mhm.
Who does the actual scoring in each school?
Like I said, that's the team. So the team consists of the anti-bullying specialist, which is the guidance counselor, as well as the building level principals on that team. We'll have a parent rep, as well as teachers in the building. So it's done at each building. They do their own.
And it's
school
our own
self-assessment.
employees evaluating what's going on in their school.
Correct.
Good stuff, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, board members?
I just had two.
Ms. Nieves?
Mr. Davis, is there like a minimum score that the NJDOE has out of that 78 that they require?
That not that they've reported, because again, it's supposed to be a school self-assessment. So each school is responsible just reporting based upon the criteria. So each of the categories has like subgroups that they're responding to. And then they just come up with a score.
Okay. And then my other question for core element 1, where it says like HIP programs, approaches, like what would be some examples of what those approaches or initiatives would be? Sure.
So that's broken down for a total of 5 questions. So core element 1, it looks like the school annually establishes HIV programs, approaches, or initiatives. That's out of 3 points. Letter B is the school annually implements and documents HIV programs, approaches, or initiatives. So when I meet with them periodically, we're talking about different things that they can do. So a lot of the counselors are pushing into the classroom, doing different lessons and things like that. But a lot of times they may lose a point, which is why you saw like some of the 13 or 14s out of 15, because if they're not involving, let's say, some community or cops, et cetera, police in it. So we have security and officers at the middle school and high school, so that's why you'll see their scores higher because they're in the buildings.
Is that it, Ms. Nieves?
Yep, that was it. Thank you.
Any further questions, board members? Hearing none, board members, at this time, I'm asking for a motion to approve moving of this report on to the New Jersey Department of Education. Is there a motion?
Motion to move to the New Jersey Board of Education.
Ready, second. Moved by Mr. Martin, second by Ms. Dredden. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Ms. Esposito? Just checking you for the next week.
So Ms. Esposito has joined us?
Yes, 17.
Okay, thank you. Moving now, board members. Ms. Boyle, would there be any correspondence at this time?
None at this time, Madam President.
Thank you. Moving now, I'm asking for a motion to approve the following board meeting minutes from our regular meeting, which was held September 27th, 2023, open session, and our regular board meeting Wednesday, September 27th, 2023, closed session. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes for our regular scheduled board meeting Wednesday, September 27th, 2023, open session and closed session.
Dredden, second.
Moved by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Dredden. Roll call, please.
Ms. Dredden?
Yes.
Ms. Esposito?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Nieves?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
And Ms. Pitt?
Yes.
Motion has carried.
Thank you, Ms. Boyle. Moving now, board members, to our board reports. At this time, I'm going to do a little reversal. I usually ask for a report out of the Citizens Advisory Committee, but I'm going to ask whether or not there's a report out of our Citizens Advisory Committee at this time.
No report at this time.
Thank you. So therefore, I would just like to make a comment with regards to perhaps a misunderstanding. If you can recall at our last meeting, it was said that with regards to the Citizen Advisory Committee's request to implement and find out about the culture climate study, and it was felt that the board somehow did not perhaps live up to exactly a good timeline. And let me just say this, certainly we all have our opinions, I know I have mine, but facts are facts. And it's important that, I think it should be said that the board, the school board really did live up to the request. If you check through our minutes, you'll see that Dr. Poteet on several times, upon the board accepting the recommendation from the CAC, went forward and contacted them. He reported out that there was questions that had to be completed. Also, June 7th, if you can recall, at our awards meeting, it was mentioned. We also discussed it in August at our retreat. So the board has moved forward on that request. And I think it's important, again, I believe, because whether we know it or not, each of our meetings, there's a person sitting here. She's sitting here now, as a matter of fact. Her name is Ms. Genevieve Hurwitz, and she's a reporter from the Hamilton Gazette. And she faithfully attends our meetings, and we speak, and she reports on our meetings. So I thought it was important that we let the public know that with the study, the request for the culture climate, we are going to go forward with it. And Dr. Poteet, as he said at last board meeting, has found another type of study that he will be sharing with us. But just want to make sure that we understand that the board absolutely did listen to the recommendation and that we did move on it. So at this point, at this time, I'm asking if there would be a report out of the athletic committee.
No report at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Boyd. Would there be a report out of the operations committee?
At this time, Madam President.
Thank you. Would there be a report out of the education committee?
No report, but we will be meeting on Tuesday, the 17th at 4 o'clock via WebEx.
Thank you. Would there be a report out of the marketing committee?
Not at this time.
Thank you. And I'm going to pause again with regards to the reports from our committees. Again, just for clarity's sake and understanding, it has been brought to my attention that somehow there are those in the community who feel that when we get to this point, when we talk about the reports out of our committees, that there's too many comments, none at this time. What you should know is this: our committees are required to meet, excuse me, once and only once a month, but they all don't meet at the same time each month. So therefore, there will be board meetings where you will hear our board chair say, none at this time, is simply because they haven't met yet. But believe me, we have all 5, 6 of our committees, they do meet monthly. Just a point of clarification. With regards to our policy committee, there is a report from our policy committee. Our policy committee, excuse me, for this allergy. The policy committee was held virtual on Thursday, September 28th, 2023 at 5:15. Present were board member Ms. Esposito, board member Ms. Nieves, board member Mr. Thomas, Ms. Brenda Stinson, Winslow Township High School teacher, Mr. Kurt Morello, Winslow Township High School principal, Dr. Petit, superintendent, and Dr. Dorothy Carcamo, assistant superintendent. At that time, at that meeting, we reviewed changes to new and existing policies and regulations to present a first reading at the October 11th, which is today's board meeting. The policies and regulations reviewed were policy and regulation number 1642.01, it involves sick leave. Policy number 3212, attendance as it relates to teaching staff. Policy 4212, attendance as it relates to support staff. And policy 5116, education of homeless children and youth. We also reviewed regulation number 2419, which spoke to the school threat assessment teams. And I do believe, board members, that this week we did receive a copy of all the members who are part of our school threat assessment teams. Now, the policies that have been abolished are policy number 8540, school nutrition programs, policy number 8550, the meal charges and outstanding food service bill, policy number 4432, sick leave, and policy number 5460.02, the bridge year pilot program. Those are policies that have been abolished, along with regulations number 4432, sick leave, and policy number 5460.02, bridge year pilot program. The committee discussed 2 existing policies as well. Number 5516, which addresses the use of electronic devices, and number 5440, which addresses tardiness or lateness, as well as the use of retired teachers and volunteers to fill the aides vacancies. After hearing from all members of the committee, including Mr. Morello, the principal, and Ms. Stinson, the teacher, the committee agreed that policy number 5516 and number 5420 would remain in effect as written until a final recommendation could be made. However, Mr. Joe Thomas was tasked with viewing the policies of other school districts and providing a summary of his findings at our next policy meeting so that the committee can determine if there should be changes made to our district's policies. And in addition, Dr. Carcamo explained that anyone wishing to volunteer in the district must complete the volunteer application. Retired teachers who are interested in returning to work should consult the Division of Pensions to determine whether their pension would be affected. That anyone interested in an aides position had to register with the ESS, and we know that ESS, we're contracted with them, to provide aides for the district. Ms. Esposito at the time asked if information could be placed on the district's website for retired teachers looking to return to work, and that a peer mediation program be explored. All policies and regulations were approved to be moved forward for the first reading at this meeting, October 11, 2023. The meeting was adjourned at approximately 6:42. So those are the recommendations, board members, that come out of the policy committee meeting. Would there be any questions?
Yes, I have a question. In the past, we had talked about and we weren't getting, the revisions. We weren't getting them in print anymore, but we were at least getting them online. I don't remember seeing them for these policies, so I just wanted to, ask if we were continuing to do that.
Yes, we are continuing to do that. I believe in our agenda tonight, we have the policy.
I don't think you're following me. I'm
This is
talking
first
about
reading of them.
the actual policies, when you're revising them.
Right.
In the past, we had talked about and we had started getting the revisions where we, as a board, could see the strikeouts, the same thing that the the committee members see. And at one point that was switched to being put online so that we could see it there as opposed to in print. We did not get that this time, that I could tell.
Now, with regards to any revisions, perhaps I'm not understanding you, but we spoke about policies that were abolished.
But you also talked about policies that were revised. Is the first 4 policies or 5 there, weren't they revised or were they new?
Excuse me.
Dr. Carpenter,
What's that?
you want to give us some
Hi,
insight
Bo.
into that?
So, Mrs. Moore, nothing has changed, but if you did not receive the policy, just a simple call and we'll make sure that you get them. So had I known we did not receive them, it was simply an oversight, we would have made sure that they were received. So nothing has changed with that process.
Okay, I did receive the policies,
I understand.
but I didn't get the
I
marked out
understand.
ones.
If you didn't receive that, just a simple call and we would have made sure that it was provided, it was simply an oversight.
Thank you. Any further questions?
Just one comment.
Yes.
I remember during the policy committee, I just wanted to note that I had strenuously objected to not revising our lateness and cell phone policy, so I just want that noted.
Okay, Ms. Ball, if you would just make sure that that's noted in our minutes, that Ms. Nieves stated her opinions with regards to those policies. Anything, any further comments? Board members, questions? No? All right. Thank you, we'll move on. At this time, I'm asking for a motion to approve, I'm still on page 2, a motion to approve the superintendent's report as it begins at the middle of page 2 and continues through to the bottom of page 6. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the superintendent's recommendations, beginning on page 2 at the bottom and going through to page 6 in the middle.
Ready, second.
Moved by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Dredden. Any further comments or questions? Yes,
Can I make a comment at this point?
yes, Mr. Thompson.
I know we always have a conversation about parent engagement and student engagement. I'd like to say that as far as community engagement going on here, as you can look at this, there's a number of items where we're opening up our buildings to the community to come participate on different things, like College Ready Night, Coffee with a Guidance, Night Out with the Counselor. These are all opportunities for our community to come into our building and engage with us. Sometimes we can't go into their homes and engage with them because they're at home, but I just want to go on the record as saying that as I do my tenure on the board, it's continuously that we are opening our doors to our communities and providing different ensembles for our community to come and engage with us and with everybody within this district, and I just want that to be noted.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Duly noted. Any further comments or questions before I ask for a motion to move on this?
The information from the policy committee, requesting that we place the information on our website for retirees.
Yes.
That was placed on our website and on our Facebook page.
Okay.
Mr. Davis took care of that.
Okay. All right, thank you, Dr. Cote.
So you do have a motion in a second.
Yes. So it's been moved in second to approve the superintendent's report. And there's no further questions or comments. Roll call, please.
Ms. Dredden,
Yes. Ms. Esposito, Yes. Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Nieves?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Joe Thomas, yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
And Ms. Pitts?
Yes.
Motion has carried.
Thank you, Ms. Ford. Moving now, board members, I'm at the top of page 7. Asking,
Mrs. Pitts, before you move forward, I
Yes.
hate to disturb, the meeting, but I want you to know, or everyone to know, that our student representative from the high school is here.
oh, wonderful.
She went to various other places and eventually ended up here, so I told her that's okay. It's her first meeting, and we're welcome to have her. If you wanted her to at least introduce herself to the board and to the community at now or at the appropriate time, I just wanted you to know she is here.
Well, since she's here and since she absolutely made the effort to make sure that she gets here, so let's have her just introduce herself to us and tell us, give us a little bit about her.
Yes, I did have a little bit of a hard time getting here, but I.
Does she have the mic? Does she have a mic?
It should be open.
Oh, did
It should be an open mic.
I? It's okay, guys. It's only gonna happen one day.
Just move in closer.
Okay. Can you hear me?
No, let me see.
Something's wrong with the mic.
If the blue light is on, there's a mic is on.
No.
So yes,
It's on.
can you? Does it work?
It should be.
Okay, I'll
It should be
just
working.
speak clearly. So I'm Taisha Doyle. I am currently the Senate President at Winslow Township High School, and I've been in SGA my 4 years of high school, and I moved up to Senate. I was class president, but now I'm Senate President. And yes, I was just here. I would like to introduce myself, and I do track as well as just participate in clubs such as Leo Club and whatnot. And I'm just very excited to come here and represent the high school and just give updates on what's going on.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Taisha, am I
Am
pronouncing that correctly?
Thai Asia.
Taisha. So-
Yes.
Okay, Taisha, after the meeting, could you and I talk just a few minutes?
Of course.
Okay, thank you. Moving now, board members, I'm at the top of page 7. I'm asking for a motion to approve the Business Administrator Board Secretary's report as it begins at the top of page 7 and continues through to the bottom of page 10. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the Business Administrator Board Secretary's report that begins on page 7 and goes through to page 10.
Moved by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Stratton. Any further comments or questions? Hearing none, roll call please.
Ms. Dredden?
Yes.
Ms. Esposito? Yes. Thank you. Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Nieves?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Joe Thomas, yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
And Ms. Pitts?
Yes.
Motion has carried.
Thank you, Ms. Bull. Moving now, board members, I'm asking for a motion to approve the personnel report as it begins at the top of page 11 and continues through to the bottom of page 15. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the personnel report that begins on page 11 and continues through to page 15.
Moved by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Stratton. Any further comments or questions? Hearing none, roll call please.
Ms. Dredden?
Yes.
Ms. Esposito? Yes. Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Nieves?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
And Ms. Pitts?
Yes.
Motion has carried.
Thank you, Ms. Bull. Board members, moving now to our addendum. That nice pretty pink sheet. That certainly is in keeping for October because certainly pink is the color for Breast Cancer Month. And so at this time, board members, I'm asking for a motion to approve the Business Administrative Board Secretary's report as it appears and begins on page 1 and continues and ends at the bottom of page 2. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the Business Administrator Board Secretary's report that begins on page 1 and ends on page 2.
Ready. Moved by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Dredden. Any further comments or questions?
Just one question.
Yes.
So with these grant, applications being made to the School 6 HVAC project, does that mean that will complete the air conditioning of the school?
No, this was a SDA grant for capital maintenance and emergency projects. Those funds had to have been expended or encumbered by June 30th of 2023. The two awards were out there. We had approved to apply. We did apply. They gave us the money. So now what we're trying to do is move allowable expenditures against that grant so that the unexpended portion, which we're moving out of the general fund, will flow back to the general fund. So it's for the HVAC office. I think that project was $167,000, so we're going to apply $101,022 against the grant, which then refunds the general fund. We also had a project, and we submitted all of these and they approved them, for tiling the wet room at the high school that's yet to be done. The abatement and reinstallation of flooring in 3 classrooms at school 3, that was done, and then purchasing filters throughout the district.
Okay, I get it, thank you.
Okay, any further comments or questions before I just have a comment. I think that it's great. I think, number 2, that if, with regards to, it speaks to the new student activity, account, and, just the event that perhaps those who are tapping in may not, be able to hear us or perhaps would not have this in front of them. I think this is great. And what we're doing, we're approving the request for a new student activity account at the middle school. The purpose of this club, and it's called the Spirit Club, the purpose of this club is to support student morale through prizes, student morale through prizes and rewards, going directly back to the students. The club will also support events throughout the year. Fundraisers and donations will be the primary source of revenue. That is new and certainly welcome, Dr. Boutique. So if there's no more comments or questions, I'm asking for roll call, please.
Ms. Dredden?
Yes.
Ms. Esposito?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Nieves?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Absolutely.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
And Ms. Pitts?
Yes.
Motion has carried.
Thank you, Ms. Paul. Moving back to our regular agenda, Open Public Records Act, Ms. Boyle.
Madam President, between the time period, we had none that we responded to. We will have at least one on the next agenda.
Okay, thank you. Moving now, board members are at the top of page 16, informational items, Dr. Boutique.
Yes. Yes, Madam President, members of the board and community, I have several information items. First of all, the parent visitation days. We started this week with our visitations. School 4's parent visitation was yesterday, and tomorrow School 1 will have their first parent visitation. I also provided you in your packets this evening a revised parent visitation day schedule. The only change on that is school number 6. School 6 is having its parent visitation day the same as school number 5. So it is now Thursday, October the 19th for parent visitation day at school number 6. That's the only change from the previous list. I also would like to provide you this morning the Climate and Culture Survey. I have selected 5-Star Technology Solutions as the company that we will be using for the survey. I'm going to pass out to you some additional information for your review. You don't have enough, I still have those. Is enough for everyone? Is there enough going down?
Yeah.
Everyone have?
We just need one for Mrs. Pitts, because I just stole her stuff.
Okay. Everyone has one? Okay, just briefly, ladies and gentlemen, the Climate and Culture Survey dashboard categories and 5-Star Technologies is in the process now of developing this dashboard for the Winslow Township School District. These are the audiences in which the question or survey will be provided. We, of course, will be providing the survey for our staff. You see the kinds of subtopics that will be covered, the students, as well as the parents. There's a statement at the bottom provided by the company that states that the questions used in our surveys are adapted from questions provided by the National Center on Safe, Supportive Learning Environments and the New Jersey Department of Education. If you return to the second page, you will see that they provided us with some sample questions from the parent survey and some sample questions from the staff survey. You read those questions, of course, the responses will be of multiple choice. Some will be yes, no, some will be agree strongly, or whatever the selections may be. But that's just a quick sample that I wanted to provide you with. And along with this company, of course, we have staff development, so we know how to develop our data. Also, we, of course, are going to be able to devise our data and outcomes specific to each individual school. Because each school, of course, concerns may be different. So once we have gathered our data, we'll be able to develop this over a 2-year period. All right? Moving to the next item, the Wall of Fame Committee at the Winslow Township High School. Prior to COVID, as you well know, we inducted several athletes into our Wall of Fame. Because of COVID, we have not had anyone inducted. We have not had meetings, so the committee has since dissolved. 3 of the 4 members on the committee are no longer at the high school. So we are in the process of revamping that committee. So right now, of course, our athletic director, Mrs. Lane, the only remaining member is Mrs. Shanika Brown, Coach Brown, and Ms. Morella. However, they have provided a list or created a list of individuals that they would like to ask to join the committee, which will also include 1 person from the community. So they're in the process of revamping the Wall of Fame committee so we can get back to acknowledging those individuals who have participated in athletics over the past years. And hopefully we can have an induction, if not this year, as soon as next year. But we're working toward see if we can have an induction ceremony this year. Also, the Winslow Township Education Association's Family and Schools Together Committee is sponsoring a health and safety family night. That family night is Tuesday, October 17th at 6 p.m. at school number 5. The registration form, a copy of the registration form is presently on our website. I did a robocall today, so if you were home at 6 o'clock, you would receive the robocall. We have agreed to partner with Winslow Township Education Association as a district to help them to promote and increase the number of participants. And dinner will be exactly at 6 o'clock, and all the activities will start at 6:30. And again, if you want to pre-register so they can have an idea how many are coming, your pre-registration form should be turned in tomorrow at the school in which your child attends. However, I need to emphasize that everyone is still welcome, whether you pre-register or not. They're hoping that the families will come out. Mr. Thomas has already mentioned, but I'd like to emphasize again that College Readiness Night at Winslow Township High School, which is being sponsored by the Winslow Township High School Guidance Department, is Tuesday, October the 24th at 6:30 in the Sarah Gordy Auditorium. Now, the difference in this College Readiness Night, we have 3 categories. First, we will meet in the auditorium. We will have an individual, Mrs. Teresa Mayers from the New Jersey Higher Education Student Assistance Authority, and she will be presenting to us the free application for federal student aid. Everyone who goes to college must fill out the FAFSA. In many cases, the FAFSA is not the most user-friendly form that you can encounter. If you intend, whether you're in 10th, 11th, or 12th grade, please attend this meeting because financial aid is a key component to going to college. Many young people will qualify for this free financial assistance, but you have to fill out the FAFSA. That is one component. The second component is the college application process. We will have an individual with us, Olga Dupina, an admissions counselor, from George Mason University. She will be there to discuss about the aspects of college admissions. Again, it's important that you come. And the other key component, Lord knows I know this very, very well after dealing with it all last year, the college essay writing. You must have a college essay as part of your application. Many young people do not complete their college essay in such a way that it represents their capabilities academically. We have one of our teachers, Mr. Andrew Adair. He's a member of our English department, and he teaches AP English, language, and composition. Please take advantage of that opportunity because after the general meeting, we're going to have breakout rooms where you can go in and have one-to-one or small group discussions with these individuals so they can answer your individual questions. So this year's College Readiness Night is going to be special. Mr. Morello will be making additional announcements to the high school audience, or excuse me, the high school parents prior to that night. So Tuesday, October 24th at 6:30 Sarah Gordy Auditorium, we're expecting everyone. If you want your child or thinking about your child going to college, this meeting is very important and it's never too soon. The earlier you get on top of this, the better it's going to be. Last but not least, the South Jersey gas pipeline replacement project. Remember at the last meeting, I told you there may be some problems with transportation. Thus far, even though they're out there, the project that was going to hinder aerial road and progress hasn't started yet. So we have not been able to experience any impact from our buses moving to and fro. But we anticipate any day now, they're going to start that project. Again, our morning pickups, we don't feel that there'll be too many problems. However, dismissal may be impacted up to at least 30 minutes in terms of young people getting home. That concludes my information items for this evening. I'll answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Dr. Poteet, during that FAFSA presentation, will the students be able to start it on computers here so they can have?
For the college readiness night?
Yes.
Yes, well, we are going to have, like I said, some breakout rooms. Mr. Adair will be explaining to them how to even get started, what they're looking for. It's not what you normally call a general essay, it's more personable. So we'll have any type of equipment available to our young people, at least get them started. But the important thing here is being able to connect with a teacher that's in the high school so that they can follow up and ask those questions so that someone can be working with them one-to-one. But the important thing is showing up, showing your interest, making that appointment with that English teacher in the high school so that they can begin to show you how to write a college essay. All right? Thank you. Yes, sir.
I'd just like to thank the board and for allowing our administration to really think out of the box here. You know, we have our traditional way of inviting the parents in, but here is a whole plethora from a celebration with a meal to an athletic committee to an essay writing that really covers the whole gamut of our community and the students that we're trying to reach. So it's not just one discipline, it's the whole discipline in a lot of ways to try to engage with our community. Once again, I just want to commend the board and the administration for thinking of other ways to do it than the traditional ways.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Board members at this time,
I actually had a few questions, I'm sorry.
okay, Ms. Nieves?
Dr. Potteet,
Yes.
schools 1 and 4 have already had their parent visitation. Any feedback on how that's gone?
School one is tomorrow, Mrs. Neves. School one is tomorrow, and, school four had theirs yesterday. Yes, I did speak, with Mrs. Kelly because, we are all interested in knowing how it goes. First of all, she said the parents really enjoyed having the opportunity to come into the schools and into the classrooms. She said that, for her, it was a lot of work in the sense that all day long, she never sat down because she was more concerned about the health and safety of the parents as well as the students, making sure that people were able to come in, people leave, because of course they don't have security guards or anything. So she was pretty much there making sure the parents signed in, signed out, returned their badges. Teachers, of course, were somewhat tense because it's new to them. And, but it went well. What I'm going to ask the principals is to provide us with just a very brief Reader's Digest version overview of how it went that day. And hopefully we'll be able to prepare for the next one that's coming. But the first one, it went very well. More importantly, again, and I can't say it enough, the parents truly appreciated having the opportunity to come into the classrooms.
Appreciate it. I just wanted to make one comment in that regard. 'Cause I have 2 children in 2 separate schools, so just parent hat wise. I know I knew when the dates were because I'm a board member. As a parent, I did not get a lot of lead time into when those dates would be. So my concern is for working parents who, would need to shuffle and do things of that nature. So, if we continue with this, I appreciate that would be something that we would look at.
So let me ask a question for clarification, Ms. Evans. You said that the parents in general did not get their notice of these days in advance, that they didn't get enough time? Is that what you
For
said?
one of my children, I did not get any information at all. And for the other child, I think I got it a week before.
Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our first time at it, and everyone knew they had to get one in October. So, yes, so we're not gonna make any excuses, but we'll hopefully get through this first month. As I said, there was some anxiety and anticipation for this first opportunity, and we're gonna learn. And thank you, Ms. Nieves. We're gonna learn from this first opportunity, and hopefully when we have our next parent visitation, we'll do a much better job. And that'll give the others who are planning theirs some more time to, if their parents don't know or haven't done enough publicity on it, that gives those remaining schools another opportunity to inform their parents. So thank you.
And then I had one more question.
Yes,
Back to the climate survey.
Yes.
With the one that you've selected, are there any costs to implementing this survey?
yes, it is. It's $2,500 for the entire survey for this year, as well as an additional $1,000 for staff training. I am asking for us to do it for 2 years as opposed to 1 year, because we want to do it this year, sort of like a pre-survey, and then we want to do it next year around the same time, more or less as a post. This also gives the building principals an opportunity based on their feedback, because they do have goals and school planning, and they can write some of the outcomes into their goals. So we'll see what happens with that. So yes, it is $2,500 a year, so I'm asking for 2 years. Well, I've already asked for 2 years, and the additional training. So for the 2 years, it's $6,000.
And do we know when we'd be able to implement that this year? When
I'm
it's going to roll out?
Yes, I'm still trying to get this done in October, but I'll keep you posted. I'm scheduled to have some additional communication with the company as we move forward. I'm not going to try to hurriedly and keep the timeline we had before. I'm shooting for October, But I'll be able to have a better feel once I have follow-up conversations with the company in the development of our dashboard. It will be close, but it will be, hopefully this month, if not early November. But I'll be able to give you a more definitive response either before or after our next meeting. The reason I'm hesitant in giving you a date is because we want to make sure that we do as much PR on this and letting the parents know, as you've already stated, in advance so they'll know what's coming, the timelines, when the children, or excuse me, when the students will be receiving the survey, the staff, as well as the parents. So I'm not going to hurriedly do it. I'd rather do it right the first time than to try to hurriedly get it out there just to say we've done it in October. But we will make sure that we give parents enough notice as well as additional information so they'll know what the expectations are. So I'll keep the board posted, all right? But I cannot give you a definitive date tonight.
So would the students then be taking it in school or would they have?
In school.
In school?
We're looking at an opportunity for them to take it in school. We have a timeline where it's almost like a normal testing where everyone in the school will be taking it at the same time. That way we can get it done and get it over with and it be the least disruptive. So we're planning and organizing. Some of the planning and organizing we pretty much already have in place in preparation for this. But it will be done in school. And we're looking at, it shouldn't take more than a half hour for them to complete.
And we still have that level of anonymity that
Yes.
we're looking for?
Yes, yes. Of course, it's not a survey where you have to write your name, identify yourself or anything like that. And we are working with our technicians also to make sure we can make as, or put in place as much security measures as we possibly can.
And then, and the last question, I promise. In regards to the staff survey, I mean, I see the sample questions here. Are there any staff questions as it relates to their supervisors?
I don't know that. Those are just the samples. I have not been able to see everything. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But basically, I would not assume that the staff would be in a position to quote unquote evaluate their supervisors. But then again, I don't know what the questions are. So let's take a look at it. But it's not a situation where I would expect people to evaluate the building principals or anyone at this matter. But let's wait and see. I'm going to try to be as objective and anonymous as possible also. So I have not asked to even take that kind of look into the test prior to us receiving it. So I'm not sure what the questions are asked, but if it's there, then I would anticipate that people would answer honestly as possible.
Dr. Boutte, I would assume under staff, the first bullet is administrative support. And that gives you opportunity to get feedback if you're getting the training and assistance that you need.
I think it will cover quite a bit. But if you look at those subtopics under, it covers basically as much as what we had anticipated it would. And we're anticipating their feedback. And of course, like I said, with the 2-year span, it gives us an opportunity to realistically look at the data and plan accordingly. And the principals will have an opportunity to write in their goals and objectives for that year based on a lot of the information that they receive for feedback. So yes.
Any further questions for Dr. Boutte as it relates to the information items that he has shared with us, board members? All right, moving now to old business. Would there be any old business you care to discuss at this time, board members?
I do,
Ms. Moore?
yes. I wanted to report on the Meet the Candidates night, and was very disappointed. I thought the people who participated did a great job, so don't get me wrong. But the turnout was very small. We did not have it live streamed. And there really was no assistance with the district as far as getting the word out. I'm not sure why, because I was sure in the past that that had happened. But anyway, it was, there was a very, very small turnout for it. But thanks to the WTEA and the League of Women Voters, they did their best. So,
Ms. Moore, I will take full responsibility, and my only intent always is to keep us legal. In terms of utilizing the board's technology or ability to live stream or to publicize events that are inherently political in nature, it's not appropriate for the board or the district to get involved. When at the last meeting, when I heard that was happening, I didn't react immediately. I sought some guidance from Dr. Poteet, actually on the way home that night. I gave you a call on the cell. And then I actually reached out to my two partners because it's just something about it. I just get a feeling of it. And the question was never directly posed to me like that. And both of them had indicated that we do 11 different boards, as you know. And that's, both were very clear to me that, that's a no-no. And that we were not permitted to engage. So any responsibility for that, and in terms of making our spaces available like we would any other activity in terms of facility usages and things like that, that's okay. But if we wouldn't do it for another outside organization, especially with the political ramifications of it, it's not something that the school district itself can utilize school resources to sort of support the program. So I'm sorry that it didn't turn out better. And I'm sorry that I didn't speak out that night because I wasn't sure and I didn't want to say something incorrectly, but I gave Dr. Poteet my concerns following the meeting by phone when we were each driving home. And then again, checking with my two partners who have had direct experience with it, sort of clarified it for me. I spoke again with Dr. Poteet the next day, maybe even Dr. Carcamo. I think I called you Dr. Carcamo, because I think Dr. Poteet asked me to loop you in, which I did, and made it very clear what our parameters were. So it wasn't my intention to obviously deny anybody. It was my intention to keep us legally compliant in all respects, as it always is. So I'll take full responsibility for what transpired after the meeting, and I apologize for not knowing that answer during the meeting, but I just wasn't sure and didn't want to speak out improperly on such an important issue.
okay, I appreciate that. I was under the understanding that it had been done in the past, not the live streaming, but as far as advertising it. I would think that we would want people to be there to hear from the school board candidates. This has nothing to do with any other politics, just to see where they stood as far as running for the school board. So and the other thing is I didn't expect any special, notification, but I was the one who proposed it on behalf of the marketing committee, and no one told me that we wouldn't be able to do it. So that was an issue that I had.
Okay, Ms. Moore, I don't think I understand. You're the one who proposed what exactly?
As far as having it live streamed, I asked about that at the last meeting.
Right.
I brought that up, but
Okay.
no one got back to me and said we can't do it. And I just didn't, so, it's kind of like, okay, well, it's not gonna happen, but nobody told me that. So, It's okay, we don't need to go into it further, I just
No.
needed to get that off my chest.
And that's fine, and so, and that's fine, and that's absolutely fine, but let me just say this, with regards to that, Ms. Moore, I have participated in several of the Meet the Candidates nights here in the district. And in the past, as far as the school district is concerned, as far as advertising, because it is a political situation, the district, as far as advertising, does not promote or put on at a grand scale. In most cases, the candidates themselves bring people out, because we have 9 people running this year. And it's been my experience that the candidates themselves, those who support them, their family members, they're the ones that usually are able to bring out people to the Meet the Candidates night. So I just thought I had to mention that.
I would just like to mention, because Mrs. Moore in the past, we had passed out flyers. However, it has never been requested in a public meeting, nor have we ever passed that question by Mr. Long. So we were doing it not knowing that we couldn't do it. So my response to, well, I won't mention, my response to the person I was talking to, I said to them, I understand your concern, however, doing it in the past is one thing, but not knowing is something totally different, because we didn't know and we went on and did what we normally do as far as the flyers. However, Mr. Long did call me that evening on my way home, as he stated, and said, hey, I think it's in the best interest of the district that you do not get involved with the process. And that's why this year, and from now on, it will not be something that the district will, because now we know, before we did.
Okay, that's fair. Any more open discussion at this time? All right, moving down, board members, any new business you would care to discuss at this time? I just have 1 or 2 items, just more or less informational, and I just wanted to let the board know that the township has replied back to us with regards to my request to meet with their education committee. And that meeting has been set by the township according to their schedule for October 26th, Thursday, October 26th at 3 p.m. And I have asked Ms. Peterson and also Mr. Thomas from the marketing committee, and so therefore, if there should be 3 of us and another board member would like to attend, I just want to let you know that that's going to take place. In addition to that, in our folders, there's 2 invitations. One is a flyer, the other is from Mr. Ingram, and so I just wanted to make sure that we knew that it was there, and that we would take advantage of the 2 invitations. So as far as any new business, that would be my comments. Any other new business at this time? All right, moving down, Mr. Long?
Yes, public comments. The Winslow Township. The Winslow Township Board of Education highly values the input of citizens in making important decisions that affect the children of our community. We believe in the rights of citizens to observe board meetings, to ensure that all of our citizens have the opportunity to attend school board meetings and offer comment, and to ensure that the board can conduct the important business of the district. We ask that the speakers follow the guidelines for making public comment, and they are as follows. The board secretary will recognize those individuals in the audience who wish to make comment. The specific procedures are as follows. 1, all members of the public attending school board meetings must treat each other and the board with respect. 2, please state your full name and address before you commence speaking. 3, please limit your comments to 4 minutes. 4, in the event that your question is unable to be answered that evening, please submit your name, address, and telephone number or email address where you can be contacted, and your questions will be answered within a reasonable period of time. And lastly, individuals offering citizen comment are now permitted to make personal attacks on any district employee, board member, other testifier, or member of the public. Thank you, Mrs. Pitts.
Thank you. Board members, at this time, I'm asking for a motion to approve our moving into public comment.
Motion to move into public comment.
Written second.
Moved by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Dredden, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any nays? Aye. Thank you. Ms. Boyle?
Yes. I'm gonna apologize and I'm gonna call Miss Lakeisha. Hey.
Hi, good afternoon. It's Lakeisha Jablum. My address is 104 Golden Meadow in Sickledale. First of all, I would like to say on behalf of parents, y'all need to stop giving parents more work to do, more things to do. We're tired. You know, we hear all of your things that you going on in the community, but I made a deal with my daughter 2 weeks ago, and I also emailed her coaches and say I cannot bring her to practice on this night because I'm coming to the board meeting, because I need to tell the board that I need your help to help us get involved in the community to get involved in the clothing drive that we're doing. So I don't want you to come looking for me when you see piles of clothes sitting there because we didn't meet our quota. I need your help. The HSA at the high school needs your help, and you proved it tonight. So I want to pass out the clothes drive. Every last one of you in this room can help me with this. Don't come looking for me if you didn't help. So, and also on December the 2nd, the HSA invited the mayor, and Mayor Lawrence, she will be there, and I'm expecting you, Tanisha, to help us out with that on Santa Saturday. She's gonna come and read for the students on Santa Saturday. So I'm looking forward to seeing you again, Mr. Thomas. And we are looking for a Santa. So anybody looking for a Santa?
We need Santa.
We need a Santa, but the first thing first is this clothes drive. So I'm gonna hand out flyers to everybody, and I hope to see all of you there.
Ms. Keisha, hey, before you leave, could you give us the time frame on that, please? The date?
For the clothes and shoe drive, it's Friday, November the 3rd from 3 to 7, and then Saturday, November the 4th from 8 to 2.
Okay, so where will we bring the items to?
At the high school
To the high
cafeteria.
cafeteria, okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
No, no, you can give them out, I just
I'll
said.
give it to all, everybody.
Right. No, I was gonna ask you a question, because you say you want to see us there.
Yes.
You want to see us there bringing some clothes.
Yes,
Oh,
bring
okay.
it back.
Yeah.
She's only
Clothes, shoes, it's all in here. All in here.
Okay, you want to see us there.
No. All the items are ready.
Mr. Morale has already forwarded your flyers to all of the other schools.
Oh,
And
thank
it's
you.
on the website as well, so we're all trying to help you.
I appreciate that. I don't want these clothes sitting in my house. I know you're gonna be looking for me to come and pick it up. Oh, you
had a vendor.
Well, the vendors come and pick it, but if they don't, if we have to meet 250. If we don't meet 250, well, they already have it.
250 what?
250 bags.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the dine outs aren't working for the high school.
Oh, and so they
Okay, Ms. Boyle, anyone else? Okay,
That concludes those that have signed up this evening.
okay, thank you, Ms. Boyle. So therefore, since that concludes any public comments, I'm asking for a motion to adjourn public comments.
Motion to adjourn public comment.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Dredden. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any nays? Okay. Mr. Long?
Thank you, Madam President. In consultation with Dr. Poteet this afternoon and sort of some self-reflection as well, there does not appear to be a need for an executive session this evening. I know that's disappointing, but
Yes, I'm sure.
I can sense it.
I can sense it. Thank you, Mr. Long. Therefore, there being no executive session, board members, I'm asking for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Motion to adjourn meeting.
Moved by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Dredden. All in favor? Any nays? Thank you. Good evening. This meeting is adjourned.
As I said, must be you.